content creators that bring you the lowest effort content imaginable. You know, the ones that brought you info that devs don't want you to know about. The podcast you probably don't want your girlfriend to know about. And will most likely get you banned just for talking about it. Raw, uncut, and uncensored.
We want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Maybe try some mining or something. Remember not to undock anything you can't afford to lose.
Welcome to the Echoes of New Eden podcast. Let's start this bitch.
And welcome everybody to Echoes of New Eden podcast. I literally say the same thing every week. And today, I am your host, the owner of the show. Believe it or not, I own this podcast. It is I, Rambo, as well as we have Taylor Rick with us today. What's going on, Taylor?
How's it going? Good to be here. Thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to co-host in the show along with Damon. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I very much appreciate you being here with us. And Damon, what is up, dude? It's like I barely ever see you anymore. What's going on?
I'm just crazy busy with work and doing new content for the games and stuff like that. Doesn't mean I'm not doing content for all games. I'm here and everywhere. Currently, right now, as we're doing this, I am completed.
Well, there you go. As I was thinking too, especially on the podcast version, when you listen to it there, I have like you're listening to Echoes of New Eden. I have it going like 4 times, and then I say it. So then like you hear it like 5 times. It's like, do people really not know what show that they're on at this point, right? So we're kind of a big deal.
Someone cue up Ron Burgundy gif. I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah, we're kind of a big deal.
Slap
here.
Rambo's face on it.
And we talk a lot of shit. And that's very, SHH owns it. SHH propaganda show. There you go. That has been the ongoing joke now for like literally 3 years.
Yep.
So,
but you're not even
another
originally
week
from SHH. I mean, this is the funny thing.
I'm
right?
not.
You're from GHA. The Diplo burned the house down. Democrat solution didn't work in a space game group. That group.
Yeah, everybody cooped away from evil darkness. So I mean, that's generally what happened. That's basically what happened. So, yeah, we run this shit. That's what I'm talking about.
I know, Bradrick. It's amazing. I
How
think that's
dare
what,
you?
I think that's what well, okay, I'm talking over Rambo again. Sorry, I'll stop that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You have to be more politically correct. And you have to allow me to talk.
Yep.
Yes. People are liking the intro. I do enjoy seeing the feedback on that. So spent quite a bit of time on that. Indeed, it's probably going to be the one I stick to for a while. It is pretty good. So thank you guys for the feedback. As well as, I remember last episode, I was talking about how we were pulling ranks in podcast downloads, especially in Russia. And we had hit, what did I post? Another top within 20? Well, I think we're like 35th or 36th on Russia podcast this last week. So, we're doing pretty well. So, other countries, there's a lot more podcasts too. So, especially for gaming, it's kind of hard to beat the United States podcast world. And when it comes to gaming, leisure and gaming, especially on a game like this.
Did you see Z-Killer's comment? You guys just need another co-host from Burr/Nice, and then people can't call it shush propaganda anymore. And I said, we tried that once with Tuna.
That is very true.
It didn't work out.
It did not work out. Yeah, he kind of put himself on blast.
Successful,
on that.
we had a book written about us. I mean, I don't know how much The success is weighing us down at this point.
Yeah. See, yeah, exactly. So I was only mentioned in that book like 86 times.
I wasn't mentioned that often, honestly. I was a little disappointed. Yeah. So I guess I just have to be more cocky. I have to be more arrogant in order to get mentioned in the next book. I mean,
I didn't read it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the Cliff Notes version, and it never came out.
That's
Right.
true, Logan.
Yeah.
That's true. Very filled with MJD hate. I know.
Let the hate flow.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's talk about the latest stuff that has happened in New Eden this last week. So I know like a lot of stuff has happened. Not very entertaining worthy. Like there's not really much that happened on the official Eve Echoes Discord because I'm on it looking at it. They didn't post any announcements. We have some patch notes to go over. And that's really it. You know, Taylor's got some Etherium Reach content that we're going to be talking about as far as that stuff goes, as well as I got some other surprises for the audience, and I'm already laughing.
Oh, boy.
But I got some other surprises. And one is, and I hinted this in the official fake Eve Echoes Discord content creators chat, is I have some upcoming projects that involves a little screenplay. So, though I have just audio. And so I know Juby was actually kind of curious as to what this project was. And I have a snippet for you guys to listen to and maybe get some feedback on it too. So, what would Bradrick say here? When people don't actually attend the show, but carry all these opinions from what their friends only who participated once tell them. You know, I've seen, you know, memes and all this other stuff and people talking about the show. Oh, I listened to it once and they went on this ramble and it's not for me. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you otherwise, right? You know, I guess it's the first impression type of thing. But I think long time listeners and fans of the show kind of know the ups and downs in which we do this, and as well as we kind of provide an entertainment value on it. It's not necessarily 2 hours of sleeper content like some others I've seen in the past. So
Yeah.
I know there was one recently and I was like, oh, should I click on it? Mistake. I had to put it on 1.5 times and I was still falling asleep. It was freaking boring. So I'm like, I can't drive to this.
Hey, Burr's
like seriously, you know.
We do have a member from actual Burr, not just Tuna. See, TBK is here, so Burr's covered.
We actually have a very diverse following. We have literally everyone from every alliance on this server.
Yep.
We have people in the audience from a lot of alliances. I'm not going to say every single one, but a lot of them. And they just come out. You come to the Discord. You join the live show. We have a good time. That's really it. You know. You don't get this content anywhere else. Literally, you do not get it anywhere else in New Eden. We're one of a kind. And we strive for it. So thank you all for listening to the SHH propaganda show. Yes.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So that being said, let's get into it, shall we? Like I said, the Eve Echoes official Discord has none for announcements. They have nothing to tell us this last week since the last time we've had a show. And so then that just leaves us with the patch notes. But before I hit on the patch notes, I do want to I want to hit on this. And this is something that I've, especially when my main account had roles and content creator roles on the official Eve Discord, every time they did this giveaway, it was only for beta clones or gamma clones or whatever the shit clone. Like you had to participate in general chatter in order to participate in these events or these giveaways, I should say. And since day one, I've always been against it. Every single time they ping it, I ping a community manager and I say, how come this isn't available for everyone to participate in? oh, and of course the mods, they chime in, oh, well, you have to have the beta clone, and we can't tell you how many messages you need to send, and blah, 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 blah. Well, look at this. After all this time, I fought them tooth and nail. They keep banning people, and the activity has gotten down so low to the point where they removed the beta clone requirement to enter these giveaways. OMG. I cannot believe it. Actually, I can, because I literally watched them destroy their own community, and it's 100% moderation abuse on that Discord. It wouldn't be so bad if it's not virtual PGE and the mods talking to each other. So it's really not that bad. But here we are. So they do the giveaway, and of course I entered it. I have 2 accounts that literally don't say anything on the Discord. I was able to enter the giveaway. So maybe I'll get 10k SP. Maybe, we'll see. So
I just entered as well, because I've never entered any of those things because I didn't have Gamma or Beta Clone or whatever it was that they wanted you to have, even though we talk quite a bit, or used to anyway, in the CC chat. But it's
which
been
is dead.
Crickets in the CC chat is completely dead. No one says anything in there anymore except the mods to one another, or maybe every once in a while Vetemune might ask a question to the mods. I don't know why he's still praying at the altar of the mod gods for information from them, but that's Vetemune for you. So, and there's my weekly dig at Void.
Oh, rip. Not yet.
I
know for a fact.
I got more?
I know for a fact we got more later.
I mean, it's too easy. They make it easy. I can't. What am I supposed to do here? I mean,
hey, if you don't want to be talked about, then just don't do anything, I guess. So, but anyway,
gotta nerf the for optimizers somehow.
People, I don't know. It's just like it's one thing being a content creator, but second, people don't like other people talking about them. Have you kind of noticed that? Like in certain stories and things that we would talk about, we would bring up certain stories, wars, situations that have happened, and it's like, oh, well, because this happened to TSC, it must be bad. No, we're just reporting on what we've heard. Not necessarily. They don't like being in the news, whether it's newsworthy or not. So, I mean, there's that aspect of it too. But anyway, I digress. Yeah. But
it's
anyway,
always been that way, though. I remember when I used to do the news, I'd get hate mail from the people that the news stories were about, and like, how can you publish this? And like, because it's news. That's why.
Right. And actually, now that I remember, Taylor, we're going to have a segment where we are going to shame ourselves. Ourselves being SHH Alliance. And since you are the exec, I feel that you would have the most unbiased and satire responses imaginable. So we need to do shame on ourselves. And
I'm very conflicted right now. I'm very conflicted right now because on one point, we do relish making fun of ourselves and really giving each other a lot of shit. So that part would be fun. But on the other end of it, for all the times in the past 2.5 years that I've heard MJD in my head or literally in my DMs while doing a live show telling me to stop talking about certain things.
Free fire, 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 free fire.
Exactly.
Bubble them, bubble them, bubble them, bubble them. Bubble them, bubble them, bubble them, bubble
part
them,
of me
bubble
is
them,
like,
bubble them, bubble them.
no, we can't say anything bad about Silent. But no, let's go for it. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. We'll do that after patch notes. You have to remind me. But I already have 2 topics that I want you to shame on, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's get into patch notes.
Darius is so fast on the freaking memes. Look at that.
Jeez.
I mean,
he's got image flip. Freaking.
He is so freaking quick
as a
on
shortcut.
the memes, man. I mean, I don't know how he does this, but that's pretty amazing.
Nice. Okay. Here we go. Dear pilots of New Eden, Eve Echoes will undergo maintenance on 410. Will approximately take 2 hours to complete. During this time, you will be unable to log into the game. We ask for your understanding and patience during the maintenance. Per usual. New content. The frontline outpost anchoring. Now, the outpost anchoring is available in Etherium Reach. You can anchor corporation frontline outposts in any conquerable system. This model has a completely different defense reinforcement system. Once anchored, the outpost will immediately enter a reinforced state, becoming immune to any attack. This system requires 2 hours of maintenance every week, during which it will exit the reinforced state. All damages will be immediately repaired after the maintenance is successfully completed. The window for scheduled maintenance can only be set from midnight on Saturday to midnight on Monday UTC +0, and it must align with that of the earliest anchored outpost within a neighboring system or constellation. Please note that 3 waves of Wayseeker Striker fleet will attack the structure in about 1 hour after the corporation frontline outpost starts the maintenance. Yes, and we have plenty of stuff to talk about this last weekend's defense when it comes to this. We'll get to that later. That's part of the later on in the show. We'll talk about this more in depth. So, and of course we did know about this, and because in the previous 2 patch notes they've talked about this, so we knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Market update. The frontline spatial rift filament Type 20 is available at the underground market with ISK. Purchases are limited to 1 and are only available for a limited time. It will be adjusted with the release of new products in the future. New event. Starry Night Moon Reach from April 10th to May 1st in the year YC 126. The military historian 1 discovered the data logs of the mysterious ship while exploring the ruins of the starport in an uncharted region. With that, we get this, the carrier design. For this reason, Concord is requesting capsuleers to participate in restoring the carrier's design, referred to the design data, research various capabilities of a carrier, and make critical decisions. While filling the progress bar of the carrier design, 1 event will be triggered every time a milestone is reached. You need to make a choice during the event, which will permanently change the design of the carrier, thus affecting its positioning. So yes, this carrier design came into effect, and it's pretty cool. You know, this is how we got the CNC.
Can we talk about... Can we get into like the nuts and bolts of this instead of just going through the patch notes with it?
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this.
Okay, good. Let's break it out. Go for it. Keep going.
So yes, this is how we got the CNC last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that very many players participated in that. Whatever you had to do to participate in it, just people weren't doing that much of it. And when the CNC was released, people complained about it. Then we get it in a box, and then it seemed like all the complaints went away. I mean, people are still going to complain about it regardless. I mean, we've seen 1 trillion ISK lost mails on the CNC. Like, they're just dumb on the price and the requirements to build them. But anyway, I digress on that. But here we are with another carrier design in which you have to do the ship rental program in order to gain the points required to be able to level up in the carrier design. So I've done this on a couple characters. You know, cool, I can unlock a hull or something, and then you start a design off that. This time, I'm actually going to participate it. So that way, if my ship does get chosen, that's one thing. If it doesn't get chosen, then I can understand why, and not just rag on it for literally no excuse, or no reason, I should say. So, what do you think about this, Taylor?
So a couple points of clarity here, and then some interesting thoughts anyway about how they're doing this. So first off, that's a Yang Zhong carrier. That is a carrier, and that is a Yang Zhong carrier. It is not a fax. I've had so many people tell me that that looks like a Force Auxiliary, that that's a special faction fax or something that's coming, and it's not. It is a Yang Zhong carrier. Now, whether or not it's going to be able to use the same types of modules that the Cyan C does, or it's going to be able to use variations of those modules, or it's going to have high slots or not, no idea. That's going to be completely based on this event. And I know that the last time that they ran this, we all kind of looked at it and said, what the hell is that? That looks like something that comes from Infinite Lagrange. They're kind of trying to marry the two together. I remember us having speculation with Damon about maybe they were trying to do some sort of cross-platform promotion of both games and going to bring a little of both to both kind of thing. And that none of that happened at all. In fact, it turned out to be this ugly-ass carrier that we made fun of with a landing strip on top of it for months. And then as soon as it came out in a box, everybody had to have it. It was a hit from any standpoint of what NetEase has released. The Cyan C, when it was released, was a hit. And if anybody wants to complain about ships in a box, we have to blame ourselves. Because everybody bought the freaking Cyan C. So, anyway, and that gave them the idea, okay, ships in a box work. So, let's do it again. But I digress. I'm okay with ships in a box, by the way. I think I said this a few times. I'm okay with a ship in a box one time, but it shouldn't be the only way you get it. Unless it's with in-game ISK or something. So, if you can buy the box with in-game ISK, then who cares? Whatever. As long as it's not like every freaking week. If it's like once a year kind of thing, special content, specialized ship or something, maybe that's okay. But it has to be with ISK in-game, not purchasing with cash, which is what they're doing with these boxes now.
I purchased mine with ISK.
Because someone popped it in a box, yeah.
Right.
Now, to NetEase's credit, they've taken what it takes to build one of those and brought it down quite a bit. It's not quite... Well, actually, did they change... Right. Remind me. They changed the kill mails to more reflect market for those. But did they actually change the build requirements? I thought they did a little bit. They brought them down somewhat.
They did. Yeah, okay. It like halved the cost.
Yeah.
Right, but it's still cheaper, I think, if you lose one, just to buy a new one. I don't think it's cheaper to build it or use IP to restore it.
Only because they're available in the market because someone's bought one before and is now selling it at those reduced prices compared to cost to build. Right, I get that, and that's only because they keep putting them out in freaking boxes. If they'd stop doing that, nobody'd fly the damn thing. It's a vac. You should be flying a vac instead of that. So. For DPS wise, have you done anything with the design aspect of this? I haven't. I've done some ship rental stuff on my main, but I haven't even turned them in yet. I think they were available to turn in 2 days ago, and I just haven't. I kind of need to dig into that a little bit more. I don't know. I'm excited about it from the standpoint of we get another Yang Zhong ship finally. We get a different carrier. I'm just hoping it's not like the Cyan C, but money is that it probably will be. It'll probably be just like the Cyan C.
My thoughts on it is most likely it will come in box. I just hope that for this design is not like the other one where you get to fly in high sec. Like you can go anywhere you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a big complaint about the Cyan C. Is why is this capital in high sec?
It still is.
Right, and it always will be.
Always will be.
So,
and this one probably will be too.
Yeah, it's like this next one.
Same curve. Yeah, they'll follow the same type of curve. So, and they'll probably have different. I mean, if they were smart, they would have, and they are smart when it comes to trying to get us to give them money because here we are still. They'll probably have boxes for those new modules as well, and you won't be able to use the current modules that you have for the Cyan C because it'll be a totally different function, totally different use case based off of what we supposedly designed this thing as in the contest. I didn't pay enough attention to the initial contest to see what people were doing or where things were, on that first one, to see if it really played out that way. It kind of felt like it did. It was kind of like, holy crap, they did both, the centralized and the decentralized, right? It feels like they kind of did both. So maybe they'll do that again too, and make them not tradable. I know, Nessival. It's just that kills me. It's the non-trading thing is the biggest flaw in the whole thing. But
yeah, I'd be curious as to when they'll release this Yangjung capital. And I mean, obviously it's there. The picture is there in the design aspect of it. But are they going to release that and the player designed one?
No, that'll.
Or are we going to get one or the other?
No, that'll be the ship. This is what you're missing. That'll be the ship. How that looks like right there, that will be the ship. Just like they did with the Science C. That is the ship. The actual ship model is decided on. It's how you're going to design its functions. That's
so you're designing the Yangjun ship.
Yeah.
Okay. So not a standalone
you're designing
Concorde ship like Science C is.
You're designing that ship in the image. That is it. That is the model.
Oh, good. Anything's better than that.
And getting back to the box aspect of it, most likely what they're going to end up doing is run a lucky box contest with as well, so that the more you spend or the highest spenders will possibly have a minute chance of winning a nanocore for it.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. We'll see what it has to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a wait and see. We could probably see that in a couple months. If I remember right, the Science C was from when the event happened to its release was only a couple months. Had to have been 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I would.
Because I think it was available by the anniversary that year.
I would be shocked if it's not here by the anniversary. That's what I was going to say. I would be very shocked if it's not here by August 13th. That is the 4-year anniversary, August 13th. So I would be very, very surprised.
Design good ships, people. That's all I got to say. If you design shit, then look what happens. We get Science C. All right. And then people are kind of just curious as to what the new name of it's going to be too. I haven't gotten far enough to know whether or not you can make a name for it, unless it's going to be developer issued. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The Science C came out of the blue as far as its name, but yeah, exactly.
New name, unpronounceable.
We'll just call it something else.
Okay.
Ben's Young.
So here we had talked a little bit about the ship rental project. You can advance the carrier design progress by participating in the ship rental project. By leasing the ships to social groups, your carrier will receive design progress in addition to regular rewards. There is a max limit on the process, in which 100 points in the first week and will be increased by 100 points after weekly maintenance updates until reaching 300 points. Once the progress meets the current max limit, the capsuleers cannot advance progress any further, but can still get other rewards through the ship rental project. So doing this time around, I know the first time this came out, people were losing ships and fittings, and they're getting ships back in a box, and like there's all sorts of bugs that were happening in the first time this came out. It was actually quite entertaining to remember that type of stuff, and players coming into the game, maybe they haven't experienced the first time that this came out, and I remember talking about this stuff and joking on it and harping on it. It's like, dang, that's funny. And then it's still kind of like in the back of your head when you go to click on a ship to rent out, and it's like, oh shit, this is my DR nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to give this out.
Should just
you know what I mean?
At this point with ship rentals, you should just have like a bunch of junk holes in JITA ready to go.
Yeah.
For this kind of thing, because it comes around.
So at least once a year.
At least
now at this point.
Yeah.
So that exact thing had me thinking, and I'm going through and I'm resetting the missions. I'm seeing what's good, and it's like, okay, these people want combat ships, these people want mining ships, these guys want logistics ships, and it turns out I only have one logistics ship in all of my hangars across New Eden. I literally need to buy more ships just for this stuff. And I had the idea. Why don't I just buy every ship on the market? And then that way, it doesn't matter if it's T5, T6, T7, T8, T9. It could be a Hurricane Logi. It could be a Prophecy Command. It could be a Probe. I don't know. Either way, I would have it. So when these events come out, then I'm not having to freaking search everything. It's like, oh, well, I most likely have it in Jita. I'll just rent it out there. So that'd be big brain thinking. I know some people already do this. They collect the ships. They say they have one of every hull. Heck, there's somebody out there. He's almost got 1 million Condor 2s. He's just been collecting them. I seen that screenshot somewhere. But yeah, where do I get the ISK? Last I heard, you were poor. I am poor.
So
though I'm probably still in the top 1%, but I'm still considerably poor.
It looks like the basic design is almost filled. If you look at the directive design in game right now, it looks like the basic design is almost filled from the ship rental stuff.
Nice.
Because there's two things going on there. There's the directive design, the carrier design. The directive design is everybody globally.
Mm-hmm.
So mine, I just turned in my one when we were talking about this so I could see what the next thing was, and that wasn't enough to give me anything. So rip.
Okay. So there is that. I need to get more ships, and this event kind of opened my eyes a little bit as to needing that. So here's the directive design in their patch notes. They'll conduct a weekly summary during the server maintenance. This means that the choices of the capsuleers whose max limit of the week's progress has been reached for the event will have a direct impact on the directive design proposal. The choice that meets the above criteria and is made by the majority of capsuleers in the same event will win. Each week after maintenance, the directive design proposal will be announced with a server-wide email reward. So there you go. We have the Starry Night flight store is now open. Looks like you can get expert defense skill ops supplies there. You can get a daily Yangjung gift, getting the Neon Rain Capital Core, advanced implants, and powerful special battleships. Once the event is started, capsuleers can check and purchase them in the Starry Night Flight store.
And what you spend there is how you get the ability to get the Yangjun gift, right? Like every day they've got 3 different things they're giving away. Like today it's Nidhogger Neon Rain Nanocore Purple, and then 11 Orcas, I guess, and 4, what is this implant? Advanced gold thermal circulation implant. But the only way to get points on that is to buy from the Starry Night store? Is that right?
I haven't participated in it to actually know. I see the rewards.
Yeah, it just says during the event period, capsuleers will have a chance to win the lucky prize by opening limited time supply boxes available. Okay, so it's just the limited supply boxes. That's it.
Yeah.
That's how you get the chance to win that stuff on the daily. Gives you a list of winners. No winners yet for today.
Oh yeah, it's because it just the new day just happened
just
a little bit ago.
Yep.
All right, they have here prepping up. You know what that means? Prepping up. They have the insurance companies settle a claim, purchase more items at Jita and Mara trading centers, broker's fee -3% and transaction tax -7%. Here's the big one. Planet yields mining speed plus 50%.
Yep.
I like that. Okay, they got some optimizations and some bug fixes here. I'll try and run through these relatively quickly. Valuation updated based on market transaction record. The boundary of the dormant realm has been expanded to 200 kilometers, reducing the firepower loss caused by collision with the blocking device. With the development of the ore compression technology and the improvement of basic infrastructure, all stations and citadels can now use the ore compression service. Okay. here's some bug fixes.
When they say all stations, do they mean ITCs? I took that as ITCs. NPC stations can compress now. It's not just a Citadel thing.
Right.
Anybody try that?
I want to say a couple of my indie personnel have, though I do not have a confirmation there, so I'm not sure. I don't do anything with ore compression, so yeah.
I've done it a few times, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's, if I remember right, that skill does also impact your mineral compression of things like trit, which I know it does. So I'm curious if we can compress trit now in HiSec. You can buy trit in JITA, compress it, and take it anywhere you want. This is the way I'm reading that. So that's a bigger change than yeah. Bankrupted us of fuel, not money. There's a difference there. Anyway, yes, I know. But think about that though. Now you can farm all the trit you want and take it somewhere if it's compressed. Is that fuel is money nowadays? Yeah, I know. It's very different than it was then. I get it. God, I got all my guys here from the Corp just giving me shit. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys don't have to give me shit on Reddit or YouTube. It happens on my Discord every day. I get enough.
Nice.
Anyway,
it's a daily roasting.
It is. So,
and if you gave me rolls, I would do it too. But
I
just got puppy.
I do. But no, I mean, think about that. If you can compress ore now in JITA, I mean, I think this kind of opens up. I don't know. Someone somewhere can take advantage of this on the indie side of things. You know, as far as being able to transport ore from a safer environment to a not so safe environment. It kind of opens that up a little bit, doesn't it? Does it not? I think it does. If you have ore compression at 555, you're cutting the cost of compression in half.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually not that bad. If you have an outpost, you know, somewhere you just have planets in HiSec or whatever that's doing nothing but fuel for you, it's essentially free, right? But it's your way or your avenue as a low-sec, high-sec miner. And there are some decent systems that for HiSec even, I mean, decent in terms of if you have mining nonstop all day long, you can still make okay money. Minerals have gone up. Mineral pricing has gone up. Everything in the market's gone up. So the cost of your Duo Omega or your Omega has, while it technically gone up because obviously the Plex prices are higher, but you know, purchasing it for just the cash of $5 versus $10-15 or whatever, it stayed the same. So I don't know. I think that's a really, really good change, and I don't think we should overlook it. It's a little bit more important than what most people think. If it works on compressing of titanium, and if it works on any station, regardless of high-sec, low-sec. So I guess I want someone to confirm that. That'll make a change over time.
Sure. All right. Bug fixes. Here we go. Fixed some issues that might cause autopilot to stop abnormally. I've seen this. I've witnessed it. I've experienced it. They fixed an issue where the shield resistance bonus of ships like the Caracal 2 was effective but not shown. Fixed an issue where you might not be able to see some players in a channel member list after joining the help channel. Fixed an issue where the second confirmation screen for purchasing skills with pass points was incorrectly showing as ISK instead. Fixed some issues that might cause a strip miner and heavy mining drone to stop mining. Fixed an issue where the skill interface might not be accessible. Fixed an issue where the skills might not be trainable. Fixed an issue where some corporation offices might not support the opening of corporation industry. Fixed an issue where a brief black screen might occur when attempting to use the lance during warp. Fixed an issue where some numbers in the combat logs interface might shown as abnormal text. So there you go. That was it. That's it for the patch notes. All right. And as far as I could see, that is it for anything official Eve Echoes related. So we can conclude that segment there. All right. So, and I'm watching the general chat, by the way.
I am too. It's pretty funny.
So let's do this. The name and shame SHH, and I'd hinted to you earlier, is these are two ones that we see almost daily, and you know this, and I know it because leadership and all this crap, right? But people who died to Vetemune, name and shame.
I'm gonna love
go
this.
for it.
I'm gonna love this.
Actually, and all we have to do really is just go to Moby and look up all of his kills, and then we need to do that. Where's my quick link when I need it?
Yep.
Echoes.moby.
Yep. You want me to plug this? I didn't do anything up front for this. I have no idea.
Right, exactly.
I do feel confident
surprise.
I feel confident enough to state that I will offer $1 billion if Vetemune has killed me in the past, which I highly doubt he has.
Oh, we gotta look now.
Okay, and we know he only roams deck, so it is basically all SHH. So his latest kill mail, I'm looking at it here, from ORDN REX, died by Vetemune. Shame on you.
Post the kill mail.
In a Tempest fleet issue of all things.
I saw that.
Look at this.
I mean, was he totally asleep when he did this? What the hell happened here?
Like, why?
It's RTI and FNord as well. So I mean, I get that maybe, but
okay.
Yeah, he was in an ANOM in his Tempest fleet issue. So
here's another one. Raven Navy issue.
Oh God.
From Sicky, right? Sky or whatever.
It's all these Navy issues, fleet issue stuff that just everybody goes after.
Come on, give me an. Oh, here we go. Oh, Fishborn. Oh, terrible. What are you thinking, Fishborn?
Oh man.
You die in a Prophecy 2 command. You died by a stabber sniper.
Well, that was down in Innsmother. That wasn't home defense. That was down.
Yeah,
in
that is true. That was a home defense.
I
I wasn't looking at that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look.
There should be home defense. Shane.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here's a home defense one right here. Check this one out.
Space
in
Karen's in the house.
Bruce Banner.
How do you die in a succubus?
Why are you engaging him?
You can just
in a succubus.
Fly away.
Why? He literally roams us to kill frigates, and you bring a frigate to him.
Oh,
that's what he wants.
Look at that. Look at that one right there. I love it. Troopa killing a Cinnable in a Can-U logistics assault. 80% of the DPS. Oh my gosh, you gotta love this.
Okay, here I got a shame on Desmian for this one.
Yeah, we
and I thought I was poor. Look at Desmian in a Reaper.
That's all you had left.
Civilian
That's all
mods.
had left. When we get through this segment, we should bring Space Karen on. Let him say a few words. He hasn't been on in forever, but he's here.
Oh yeah, is he here?
Yeah,
nice.
He's talking in comms. They're talking in on the chat. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. Joda
died.
Joda.
Well. So
Scouting pass.
I would preface this by saying that Joda died right there, but 30 seconds later or 10 seconds later, all three of those guys probably died to Joda's other ships.
Yeah. Here we go. Throw Legion in here. Duck Dragon dies to the Stabber Sniper.
Yeah.
And an Oracle 2.
You can say what you want to say about Vetemune, and I do, and I give him all kinds of shit all the time. If anybody's listened to this show more than once, you know I give Vetemune shit. But I will say this. He has perfected the fine art of using a stabber for everything. So.
Oh, terrible! Look at this.
Well,
guy
I should
right
hope
here.
so. That's the only thing he's ever flown in a game.
Oh no, he's flown a Hurricane. I've seen him around in a Hurricane.
Way to go,
Good
Sergeant
job,
Rico.
Michelle. Good job, Michelle.
Way to be AFK in an Orca and die to a Hurricane. Amazing. Yeah, there's GRA. Yeah, shame on you. What else do we got here? BNI. Wow,
well,
BNI is still a thing?
No, they're not. That's got to be an old one. Maybe an alt.
Right, yeah, it's old.
It's just an alt, yeah. BNI
anyway, we're getting a pretty old kill mouse.
Yep.
But anyway, so there you go. Shame on you people. That's my my dig at that.
Look at that, look at that, though. He died. This kill mill that Bishol posted. He was killed not only by the Macarial but the Procurer.
Yeah. that's one thing that you don't see in his videos is his deaths. So.
Well, no, that's what Elite PvP compilation is. You put one out every 3 months once you've compiled 10 or 15 of your best kills over that entire time, and you put them out. That's what it is.
True.
And I get that.
True.
I could do an Elite PvP compilation right now of all the kills I've made in my Wyvern. The only problem is 90% of them would be fucking pods. Because I don't get the kill first. I just get the pod after.
Yes, indeed. Then as well, you've seen this in the past. I don't know if you've had to react to it, but the amount of Discord porn link posters that have had to be timed out and banned on the multiple servers, shame on them too. We get them here all the time on this Discord too, and they only have access to post in like about 3 channels, and I know there was one I was able to stop it like instantly because I just happened to be on the Discord at the time. But yeah, I like giving those people crap as well when they come back from their timeout. One was it Lost Snake from Zan? Yeah, thought it was pretty funny. Tower Snake.
Trouser Snake.
Trouser or Towser?
Trouser Snake.
Yeah, that dude.
Some people just can't stop, and we do. I'd say in the last 2 weeks, Shush has probably lost to the Discord porn bots 10 times in the last 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. It just gets everywhere. People just and they know it's coming. You know it's coming, and someone clicks the dang thing anyway, and then it's all over the place, and they get kicked from every Discord. Yep. Yeah. Keep it in your pants, boys. Keep it in your pants.
Remember that time I accidentally clicked that link? I thought I was done for because I'm on a lot of Discords. Yikes. That would be crazy. I thought I was done for, but it didn't. So yeah, just the shame in there as well. So okay, that was it. That's the SHH highlighted news of the week. There you go. Shame on you.
That's hilarious.
There. We get to dig on ourselves.
Yep.
But really, if you really think about it, we are not that interesting. If you count out PvP, capital kills and stuff that's happening in Etherium Reach and stuff, it's like, what's going on between the corps? I don't know, just the normal stuff,
Well, there's so much content in the game right now. If you enjoy all the stuff that the game has to offer, there's a lot of it there, right? So there's just a lot of things that need to get done, and those things take time. And so yeah, sometimes day to day it is a little boring because we're just in the grind for certain things. So whether those be fighters, fittings, modules, ships, whatever, there's a grind that happens for that constantly. We are in very much a grind phase. But we're also doing a little bit here and there all over the map. As someone mentioned to me the other day, we are basically pissing in everybody's Cheerios, and we are. We've had fleets in Delve. We've had fleets in Quirius. We've had fleets all the way over in Omis. We've had fleets down in, again, just doing whatever, down in Innsmother. We've had fleets, obviously, in Etherium Reach a lot, and we've done a lot in Vale, Geminate, and Tenal in the last couple of weeks as well. And there's a certain group of us that are doing a lot of things over in Cloud Ring. So, I mean, from the content, if you're not looking at PvP, yeah, there's a lot of PvP going on every day, as there should be. So, and other than that, there's just a grind. So, but as we'll get into here shortly, we certainly made plenty of things boom over the weekend with or without our help. So.
And yeah, we'll get to that. But in other news, I see that this meme has made its rounds, and I'll post it in the on-air chat for those that may not have seen it. But this meme that Herzies had posted on the Eve Echoes Echoes_Eve Reddit, and the meme goes with a king sitting in his throne. Tell me your best merits, and I will choose the next executor. One guy says he's brave, one guy says he's strong, and the other says I have a podcast. And then the guy with the podcast gets the SHH crown.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, this was shared on this Discord earlier this week, and it wasn't until today where I started watching, or I looked at the comments on this, and I thought this was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It is pretty funny.
It's like, I know he's like previous gen fed, like abused, his brain is like so fried he can't even think straight,
Hers is, yeah.
Type of person. Like I with that aside, okay, if you don't think about that, then you look at this and say, well, shoot, if he really knew anything, it's actually Rambo's podcast and Taylor's on it. But in this case, it's making it sound like Taylor owns the podcast.
Yep.
And uses that as an excuse to become SHH executor, when in reality that's not the case. So I'm kind of just picking it apart, right? And then I question it too, as how come all the other SHH executors haven't had a podcast, right? So if I really wanted to, and this is where the fun begins, if this were to be true, then this means that I am now the SHH executor. Cue the music. Got the cowboy. Hear he. It is I, Rambo. I am now the executor of SHH. I am dethroning Taylor Rick as executor of SHH. No more shall we have to witness his pings, his announcements, anything of the other. It is I, Rambo. I'm bringing in the cowboy hat. All right, this is going to be the best SHH ever was. You ain't got nothing on this. We are in the best time in this game than ever. And I'm going to lead us this way. No more Taylor. Rambo is in the house. And I'm bringing the cowboy hat, too. That means, shall we ever lose a war, you get the hat. And this ain't no $13 hat, I tell you. This ain't no Benzie hat. This is genuine cowboy straw. Though I have other hats. We're going to make this a good time. This is Eve Echoes 2024. We're bringing in the hat. It's like the Wild West. SHH. You come to our territory and you die. It's as simple as that. PvP is what fuels this game. And Taylor, you're laughing, but you're next on the block. You can't handle this. I tell you what, day one, I will put a bounty on every YouTuber in New Eden. 1 billion ISK starting. And y'all motherfuckers better kill them. Otherwise you get sent to hell with them. And this is serious. This is serious as a heart attack. I got the hat on. I don't know how much longer I can do that.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know, I had jokes lined up for this. I should have wrote them down.
You should have. You should have.
Now, new corps, if they want to come in. So who are you, Mr. Corp Leader? What are you gonna do? Corp Leader things to me, Mr. Corp Leader?
Corp Leader things.
What are you trying to do, Corp Leader? Ain't no Corp Leader gonna dethrone me. I'm SHH Executive, Rambo.
What? That's amazing.
Well,
and that was my skit.
As
JPK, where's fast forward?
as the
That was
voice
so
of
bad.
As the voice of opposition, Johnny could make the argument that this podcast is more Taylor's since he is an official CC.
Right.
Yeah. What people?
I do tell you though.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I ever do become exec, I'd have the best firesides. Period. Because I'd do shit like that.
Better than mine. My 7 minute and 30 seconds, the fastest fireside ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play the sound clip. You can never say fireside without playing the sound clip.
Good morning, good evening, and good night.
Yeah. Blow our ears out, please.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go, Chained.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what people fail to realize is becoming an executor of any alliance in this game, honestly, but especially that of Silent, is not a promotion.
Right.
I mean, it is. It is not a promotion at all. So, yeah. And it is probably the most thankless, especially inside of Silent. It is probably the most thankless job you can have in a game, is being executor of Silent Fed. So, and at a lot of times, I've often referred to Silent Fed leadership as Game of Thrones. It's like Game of Thrones, and that's no joke. That's really what it's like. It's very cutthroat. Everybody's after the Iron Throne, but you'll never really get it. So,
is everyone after it?
No. Certain leaders anyway are, right? I mean, not everybody in Game of Thrones is after it. There's just a certain group of leaders that are, right? So, and the same thing is in the Silent. So I've often looked at it that way. And no, it is what it is. I will say this though, even though all of that set aside, playing this game, being in any kind of leadership role like I have been really since almost the beginning. I mean, when I first started, I was just a miner doing some indie stuff in Providence. I didn't really want to let myself get too sucked into this game. And before you know it, I was CEO of C137, and the rest is history. So, and here I am, right? So, so much for not getting sucked into this game. But it's the most fun I've ever had in any game ever in my life. I've been a gamer, somewhat of a hardcore gamer, not as hard as this for this game my entire life, but I've always been a gamer, and this is the most fun I've ever had. So, and if you're still playing this game almost 3.5-4 years in, and you find it stale or you find it not fun anymore, then you're doing it wrong. And you should really come join Silent Fed, and I'll show you how to have fun again, because we have fun every day. Now, granted, there's times when we have to put up with Desmond or Space Rent-A-Cop or people in my corp. But but no, I mean, and we do have to read Bradrick's Wall of Texts. I mean, it's like if you're going to be in Silent Fed, you have to read Bradrick's Wall of Texts. That's just one of the rules. It's all good, though. We have a lot of fun in Silent. So if you're not enjoying the game anymore, then something's wrong with your leadership.
Yeah.
Come join Silent Fed.
And you can talk shit to the members.
Yeah.
Without ending up in the salt mine.
We talk shit on each other more than Reddit or YouTube or any other alliance in this game does. And that's why it doesn't
for
bother
sure.
us. That's why it doesn't bother us, because your jokes are usually old, stale, or nowhere near as funny as our own.
So so I'm onto the comment section of this meme. I don't know if you've looked at it, but you know,
Oh, yeah.
Bradrick, he posts his stuff, and there was a reply to him that they say, no one thinks RMT is fine, but you also cover the RMT and bots within your alliance. Bot 5 and SHH has a lot of bots as well. But hey, you don't know about it. You're blind for it. You don't know. You don't think it is wrong, which is absolutely wrong. Because if any alliance is against botting, it's SHH. Literally, since the start of the game.
Since the beginning.
The original bot wars. And I've seen corporations get accused of botting, where certain characters would get brought up by MJD in front of all the CEOs, granted in front of all the corps. This character is suspected of botting. You better fix it or you're out.
Yeah.
They are literally religiously against RMT and botting. But whoever made this comment obviously doesn't know anything. They're just going off of hearsay or whatever. But I've known for the longest time that literally SHH is one of, if not the only alliance that is against RMT and is against botting down to the T. Like,
Yep.
It is straight up illegal. If you have a member doing it, like, that can't happen.
Nope.
That shouldn't happen. It shouldn't be happening. Take care of it. I've seen accusations of that type of stuff, and typically whatever happens, either that member multi-boxes, I mean, how can you really prove it unless you dig into it, right? And people have dug into that. So I just want to cover that.
Yeah, there's a reason why we're really good at finding botters all around New Eden and killing them, or, and figuring out what they're doing and turning them in. It's because we don't allow it here, and we know exactly how to investigate it. We know exactly how to shut it down, and so it's not that difficult to do out in the field somewhere,
Sure.
Somewhere else around New Eden, right? So, we have Trupa here, right, who's talking in chat, is one of our best, if not the best, at spotting, identifying, and killing bots and overcoming the scripting and all that stuff. And it's easy to tell when you watch some of his videos or you talk to him about what he's done and what he sees. It's easy to tell what they're doing. So,
Yeah.
Pop be gone.
You have the AI open core, right?
Yeah, AI is a different thing. That's in-game legalized botting, which drives me fucking nuts. But, yeah.
But you're not running a script on that. That's
just
an in-game feature.
You're just running an in-game feature. And I've heard a lot of people complaining about it not working as well lately, and it's getting more expensive. And my hope is there. My hope is there that it becomes one of those things where if you're a high-level player, it's really not advantageous for you because you can just make so much money so much faster with your capital, right? But for a lower-level player, maybe you're getting some of those free cones and all that kind of stuff, and so it gives you a faster leg up in the ISK generation game. If that's how it turns out over time, how they're balancing this stuff, then I'll be happy with it.
One tick in my SOV, just in normal ratting, is worth 1 hour of AI high sec ratting using the nanocore.
Yeah.
Just one tick.
Yeah. So
then if you do the math, it's, just a couple hours of actual ratting in nullsec is a lot better than using that. So I haven't used my AI core in over a month. And I know since the Concord had updated, they don't release those amethyst cones anymore as a purchasable item from the Concord store. So it almost seems like NetEase themselves are trying to nerf that, or at least bring it down a little bit and limit it so people aren't doing it as much.
Well, as we've often
I've heard
talked
those
about
complaints.
before, it's data-driven, right? And so they look at the data, and they know that they've got inflation going on with their pricing all over the place, and Plex is going up and up and up, and they want to drive Plex down. So one way they can do that is to try to limit the amount of ISK flow, which more ISK, it makes the ISK value go down. Therefore, the pricing and everything goes up. So it's the inflation side of it. So yeah, maybe that'd be one of the data points or the metrics they're looking at to try to drive that decision down. They've talked a lot this year about things they're doing for new players, things they're doing for in the AMAs. We talked about reducing or removing tech tree, right, for standardized chips. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff they're putting into the works. And I would even go so far as to say that if we really look at some of their decisions over the last 9 months, 6 months, a lot of those decisions were made based off of what they just released this week. Your ability to anchor an Ethereum Reach and how freaking hard those waves are to keep that Citadel alive.
Oh man, I know you're just itching. You are just itching to talk about it.
Itching to talk about that.
But I'm going to tell you to wait just a little bit longer.
That's fine.
I got one more surprise. Do you got something, Damon?
Yeah, you brought up how they said they're going to expand the new player experience, right?
Yeah.
I was toying with the idea because I've been dabbling again in the game, and you all know me. I'm varying my content with other games, and I can't really be on top of the news anymore. So I was going to try a new type of content, which is starting the game fresh as a new player and seeing how easier it is to come into the game, basically. I mean, obviously, I still have my other accounts, but like starting from the game from scratch, no alliance, no anything like that, and just seeing how easy it is to raise up in the ranks of ships.
Right.
It's not that hard. I mean, the thing about it, though, that we forget is we're veteran players. We know exactly what needs to be done in order to tier up and all that kind of stuff. So we can blow through some of that pretty well. But if you don't know what you're doing, and you've never played EVE Online, you've barely even heard of EVE Echoes, and you downloaded it for the first time to figure it out, it's still you're still looking at it going, wait a minute, I got to spend $5 a month for 3 months before I can actually do anything that you're doing with you guys, Rick? I mean, like, how's that? That's interesting, really. Like, that kind of sucks. I got to grind, or I got to do something in this. Do I just pay the money and come back 3 months later? I mean, just keep the skill queues going and not do anything else in game. That's the way it gets looked at. So it still needs some tweaks. It's better. It's much better, but it still needs some tweaks.
Yeah, I think it'll be changed for the better.
Yeah.
Kind of excited to see what they'll do in that aspect too.
You break off the tier levels, and man, you're ready to go in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get somebody going in a week, at least on something that's doable with in nullsec, right? So that makes a huge difference. I need to pause for a second here, guys. You can keep going, but I'm gonna pause. Hold on a second.
All right. So next, I have here, and it's something I had hinted earlier on in the show, that I have an upcoming project. So check this out. I am working with a person that was in my corp that wrote EVE Echoes, I guess, short stories and lore. And so I've been working with him to actually do some screenplay and to make this stuff come alive. So I'd actually prepared a clip as to what we have for upcoming content. I'll release it here on the podcast, not necessarily on the podcast, but as a standalone show sometime in the future. Of course, these things take a while. It takes a while to communicate with people and all the other, right? But I have here a snippet of what I'm working on. So I'll start it here, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
So I guess I have to quit.
Skinner, my systems are desyncing. I have to warp.
Then go. What are you telling me for?
But...
Just go, before you take a missile up your... was too late. The hostile Gila had already locked him. A salvo of missiles raced out to claim his once-had succubus-class frigate. Huh. Least he wasn't scrammed. Life as a capsuleer is different. In the end, you don't lose much being a rookie. DevNet Asian Insurance would likely cover his losses. Given the lack of warp scrams in the field, his life wouldn't be lost, just his body. Kretsky would be put right back into a new clone and a new bus. I know I'll have to hear about it, though. With all that said, a life of clearing out pirate nests really only got exciting when other capsuleers showed up, friend or foe. Huh. These pilot desyncs are really something Concord scientists need to get to the bottom of.
Target lost.
Son of a bitch, he got out. Guess there's no need for insurance claims after all. No normal desync could have lasted this long, even if Kretsky had lost connection with his ship. He should have kept connection to fleet comms through his implant. So where the hell is he? I can't just abandon this mission or the team just to go searching for a desynced succubus. Even if I had the proper scanning equipment. Damn it. Now I'm on my own, wherever I am. May the light of Adioth burn a faint white. Kretsky's mind resynced with his ship about 1 AU away.
Skinner, you there? Kella? No connection. This doesn't seem right. This never happens. Even being green, I know that these failures are near impossible in the modern era. Maybe I'm pinging the wrong relays. I'm on the correct relay. I can see Skinner and the team on the channel, but it seems they can't hear me. No way I'm on mute. Nope. Alone and mute in space, not really a position I want to be in. I'm surprised the autopilot hadn't taken me back to the pirate base. Let's try to manually jump to warp speed.
System failure. Warp drive unable to initiate.
Damn.
So, yeah, how about that? That's the latest in the upcoming projects, and yeah,
a whole audio story.
Yeah, it's an entire audio story, and there's chapters and everything. It's going to be a pretty lengthy project, and the shows would be long enough for a standalone release on the podcast platform for people to listen to. So I think that's going to be exciting to do. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Cool. I caught just the tail end of that. Yeah.
I need to talk to a lot more people for more storytelling.
It sounds awesome, and if you do need any of the voice actors or something like that, just let me know. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
And he drops.
So, thanks, Damon. He's out of here.
He said that, and he's gone.
Nobody else is doing this type of stuff. You know, regardless of like the podcast and the live show that we do,
right.
Then there's this. And, you know, I've actually known about these books for a long time. It's probably close to about 3 years I've known about these books. And
which books?
There was so these are Eve Echo's lore books that a guy by the name of P.A.B. Arianis has written. And like he shared them on my Discord a lot. He had a guy hired to narrate. He was an official Eve Echo's content creator writing these books. So believe it or not, I've actually had podcast episodes with him talking about them in the past. And it's probably season 2. If anyone's interested in that, I can find the episode and I can link that. Just DM me if you want that episode. You can listen to that, of where these books, these stories had originated, because a lot of this stuff is what happened like in game. He wrote his actual in-game experiences with a little bit of fluff, right, in these books. And so I got this idea. I said, well, with the audio work I'm doing nowadays, I think this is very possible. And so I was talking to him about it here and there, and that came out of it. So that was just a snippet. There's a lot more to come. But yeah, I hope you like.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really, really cool.
All right. Then let's talk about Ethereum Reach, and then we can probably close it out with consider your suggestion. So this last weekend, for the first time, Ethereum Reach defenses had happened. Now, after the maintenance, it was not unknown that AOA or AOS or whatever it was planted like 15 citadels in Ethereum Reach, as well as some other corporations. All to have a defense, was it yesterday morning, for at least SHH, but I think it was maybe server wide, I'm not sure. To have Ethereum Reach literally lose almost every single citadel that was planted by the NPCs. Literally, those fleets got trashed on by the NPCs. And yeah, the screenshots are flowing in as far as the battles that had happened. So tell us a little bit about this last weekend, Taylor, from your perspective. I wasn't personally at the defense of the SHH Citadel that was there. Saturdays are my busy days. I didn't get around to gaming, but I did see it in videos. I did see it in screenshots as how the battle had went. You can look at the star charts and you can see how many citadels are no longer there. So, yeah, just tell us a bit about it.
Well, it's the largest. Saturday was the largest single day of Citadel losses in Eve Echo's history, and it just so happens to be the rats instead of against one another. So it's the highest ever. So 17 AOA Citadels died yesterday. One VVV Citadel died, and one Silent Citadel died, which was mine. I anchored the damn thing myself. So... yeah, so rip big. As I always say, you're going to go big or go home, right? So we decided to put one down and see how it went. Mostly because the timer mechanics in this region are not quite what the patch notes say. They're a little different. So what it meant is essentially the first person who anchored in a constellation, even if their anchoring wasn't done yet, they would set the timer for everybody, for the whole constellation, just by anchoring one.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's not the way it read in the patch notes. I mean, my Citadel was anchored almost before anybody else's because my anchor timer was so much faster because of Corp Tech than everybody else's. So still was not able to set my timer. Which put it at the Saturday morning, which is not where I wanted it. AOA prime time for their defense of all of theirs too, right? But as it turns out, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if someone could attack my Citadel or not because they couldn't defend theirs either. And these waves that come in for these NPCs are... I don't want to say that they're overpowered because I don't actually believe that. Looking at every single one, almost every single one of those fights, when there was a fight on a Citadel Saturday and Sunday, I've got screenshots, I've got some videos, I've got some first-person accounts of what worked, what didn't work, what those waves are doing, how they were spawning, when they were spawning. And the first wave spawns immediately as soon as the Citadel comes into... that timer, that 2-hour timer for repair. It's instant. And it doesn't matter what you do to that wave. 30 minutes later, the next one comes in, and 30 minutes after that, the next one comes in. So they just keep coming. And it took us a little while to kind of figure out which of the ships were actually doing the damage, which ones are not. But yeah, it feels to me as if there's ways to manage it, but boy, is it going to be very pilot intensive. To do. It's just going to be very intensive to do. So Yeah, it was rather shocking to see that many citadels blow up. AOA couldn't handle it. They had 6 supers on one of their citadels, and that citadel still died. The one that survived this morning, because it's the only one that survived out of everything that was anchored, only one AOA citadel. All of Burr lost all of theirs. TSC lost theirs today, just a few hours ago. There's only one left. There's 2 reasons why that one is the only one that's left. First off, AOA this morning decided to just forget about the other 3. They couldn't defend all 4 of them at the same time, so they only went to save one. That's the number one reason why only one of theirs survived. The number 2 reason out of that, as far as that fight this morning goes, is they had about 200 subcaps on grid, mostly battleships, right? So they had a lot. They had way more probably pilots than they needed, but they had a lot. But even with that citadel almost died. They lost about 50 to 60 battleships during that fight. The only reason that citadel survived is because that security level is one of the worst. So in that second and third wave, when capitals spawn, NPC capitals spawn, and almost in most of the other areas where the citadels were that died, that one did not. So that subcap fleet of 200 was facing just NPC subcaps, no capitals. And that barely made it with heavy losses, but it made it.
Yeah, it's crazy to think the NPCs are dropping caps on your citadel to destroy it.
And it's not a small number.
No. I've seen the screenshots.
I think the first wave is like 40 ships, the second wave is like 60 ships, and the third wave is 100 ships. And yeah, if you're in the lowest security level, the caps drop on the first wave.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So people are saying that these things are like DR level good. These
they're better
these
than
rats,
DR.
I mean.
Yeah. They spawn the way that DR does. There's multiple fleets. They're spread out. So it's not like when all 40 spawn, they spawn in one location. They spawn in 2 locations at once. It is very much it's like taking everything that we know in a Sea and Dead, in a Rally, and a level 10 DR and smashing it onto your citadel all at once.
Yeah. So after learning about how the rats react at the defense of the citadel, what would you say granted, you've learned a lot. Granted, it cost you, but you've learned a lot. And one of the things is the fact that the rats don't necessarily primary the fleet. They are hitting the citadel the entire time. So it's trying to kill them faster than they could kill the citadel at that point.
Yeah, they have very, very heavy E-War as well, Lou. So there's a lot of reasons why the devs said don't take supers in, don't take supers in, don't take supers in, because the supers are going to get locked down. And that's going to shock a super pilot who's not used to that. You cannot rep the citadel. Doesn't allow you.
Can't put a shield bubble over it to block the fire.
Can't put a guardian bubble over it. No.
They got them coming at different angles.
Yeah, and not all of these fleets, these NPC fleets, actually go after the citadel. Only a certain number of them do. The rest come after you.
Well, that's good. 0% snuggling.
It sounds to me that NetEase found their new cash cow.
Yeah. So when I said earlier about a lot of the decisions they've made in the last 6 to 9 months were in preparation for this, think about all of the times they have buffed versatile assault carriers. Almost every other patch in the last 6 months has debuffed them, has been debuffed them, has been debuffed them. Their DPS is now, shit skill super carrier, like skills almost. Like shit fighters and shit skills on a super, full skilled nanocore on a VAC will outdo that as far as the DPS goes, right? So, and then they put VAX in a box ahead of this event, right? They knew it was coming. They put Lancers out ahead of this event. They knew it was coming. So, yeah, so they were putting out more DPS. They're putting out more things to try to focus on what they're doing here. Now, In terms of what I've learned, in terms of what I think would work, what wouldn't work, and all of that kind of stuff, yeah, I'm not going to answer that. That would be really stupid to tell people how to do it right. I'm not gonna answer that.
Well, this basically separates the men from the boys.
Yes, it does.
So,
yes, it does.
If you can defend it, then obviously, then you got the know-how to be able to do so, and not just numbers too. Because if you look at a numbers side of it, I mean, on the Chinese server, I heard 6 supers died to a defense.
6 didn't die. They just couldn't hold the Citadel. They couldn't save the Citadel.
Okay.
I haven't seen the kill mills.
So, I want to say I see a screenshot from Billy on that. So.
Oh, really?
Not of the deaths, but of the fight.
Yeah.
But the difficulty is there, and there's people, I guess you could say, not happy about it. But I think there's quite a few people that are happy about the difficulty of this.
I am.
And they're saying it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So
think about it from a standpoint of where it's at. Not only do you have to field a pretty elite fleet to save your Citadel and kill these rats, you have to do it every freaking week. Every week you have to do it. Not only that, you have to do it in an environment where you could get ganked at any moment, hot dropped or whatever. There's no jammers here. There's no local. You can watch with guys in pods, streaming that to a Discord or whatever, cams, however you want to do that, as much as you can, and you're not going to catch a lone Sino coming in while you're sleeping and logging off. Or not even having to log off. They just cloak right next to you because you can't see them. They don't even know you're in local. So this is extreme, like to the extreme. It is extremely difficult. I don't see how that AOA Citadel that survived this last time survives next time, especially if there's no other Citadels anchored between now and then. It is not a expensive Citadel to build, but it takes time. It takes time. It's an 8-day build if you have good skills, but there's red balls involved, and anybody in industry knows exactly what happens with red balls.
Yeah. So on the other side of it, I would say that yes, the defense happens, but at the same time, you had like the seagulls of New Eden swarming around and stealing loot from the pirates.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing. Because you can do that.
Yep.
I call them scumbags, but you're able to do it in the game, so
it's
I
a
guess.
great mechanic. It's a great dive bomb looting is a great mechanic, and if you haven't watched one of the most watched videos on our YouTube channel, it is carrier ratting. It needs to be updated, but that video that I put together shows you how to dive bomb loot your own stuff, and that trick is still works in 2024. Almost the rest of that video is outdated. So I need to redo it, but that is our most watched video on the YouTube channel, by the way. So,
what? Taylor's gonna bring shorts back? What?
I need to do it again. I need to do it again. Yep. So the racing thing just never really took. We couldn't get that second race done. It's so time consuming and everything else. Those shorts are not that difficult for me to produce. I've got a mobile set up to be able to do that right from the iPad if I need to. So yeah, I need to bring those back. Yep. I need to do another one. Update the carrier routing, that's for sure. And there's another one of those that I did that's also like our second or third most watched video on YouTube, and we're talking like 3,000-4,000.
The POS one.
I don't know. I forget which one it is, but I remember looking at it the other day and thinking I need to redo that. Oh, I think it was implants, but it was before we really understood implants. It was like right at the beginning, so I need to do a rework of that as well.
I literally paid no attention to anything on the YouTube side.
Well,
and it shows.
Both of those things are totally different now than what they were almost 2 years ago when I made those, year and a half when I made those videos. It's totally different. So
make some updated videos.
Yeah, I will.
2024.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's Etherium Reach. Firsthand, you hear to hear. And yeah, it's crazy to think that you have to do that every week. You'd expect some kind of burnout behind that too. So you'd almost expect them to nerf it a little bit. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people complaining about it.
Oh,
but
for sure.
I don't know. I don't know if it's enough to consider nerfing it, but
I don't know. I hope they don't. I want to stay it exactly as it is. I want, because it really feels like a great region for some serious game theory, some serious PvP, some tactics. Opens things up on an ever-changing sov map. It could be week to week. I mean, it's a lot of sync of time. It's a lot of sync of ships and people and everything else. But
yeah. Like Bradrick says, all this free work you're doing for the community, but yet you're the bad guy.
I am the bad guy.
Shame.
Yeah, I just lean into it. It's fine. If I'm going to be the baddie, I'm going to be the baddie. It's fine.
You're the bad guy. I'm the one that's banned off of Eve Echo's Discord, but he's the bad guy.
I know, and everybody calls you the Merger King, and that's really me. It's just hysterical how these things it's like...
what the heck?
Nothing
it's so
sticks
weird
to me. It's great. I love it.
It's like two planets orbiting a binary star. It's just weird.
That's great.
So, get this. The mod of the official fake Eve Echoes Discord had posted this announcement today. I'm surprised he hadn't brought it up. But a message from the devs. Today, we are happy and excited to announce very happy blessings to all those pilots and the corporations for placing the new frontline Citadels in Reach. We know it is a difficult undertaking. Thank you to Zhao and his magnificent internal dev team for showing that a 200 pilot fleet can indeed hold one citadel of its in the worst of these systems.
I tried to write
in
this
an
as
effort
if I
to
was Chinese and didn't understand English. Sorry for that.
In an effort to assist capsuleers, we want to try again. We have opened a hotline for you to fast track AUR and VAC packs. Good luck next weekend. Phone number is 1-800-GET-FUCKED. Again, this is an unofficial release from the devs. If you want it, no more Ask Rambo Taylor tonight on the podcast. What? Teflon? What's that supposed to mean? Come on, Daraz. Step up your meme game.
Teflon, as in it's like...
nothing sticks to him.
Nothing sticks? Yeah, Teflon. Yeah.
You're rubber, I'm glue, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Keep up. I do like this one above, though, this one that Bradrick posted. Just so we all know we've changed sides and now we're evil. And JD's down on the bottom. I didn't even know we were good. That's just such a perfect... I can hear JD saying that. Yeah, there's them red balls. There we go. More red balls.
MJD's still around.
Oh, yeah.
He still chimes in time to time.
Talked to him today.
He's still around. Yeah. He don't listen to the show, but he's still around. Okay.
No, he's busy playing Fox.
That's all I got.
He's a foxhole.
Let's do some suggestions.
Yeah.
Let me play the sound clip here. It's time to consider your suggestion. All right. Let me go to the official Eve Echoes Discord, the one I'm banned off of, and go to the suggestions list. Now, I was skimming through this a little bit. There was actually a bunch of them in a row that all had high favorability. And some of this stuff we've talked about in the past, too. So I know some of it's repetitive, but we can just talk about these real quick. One, HR department. This one had 35 upvotes, 2 downvotes. Release T2 capital rigs via gameplay of some sort, not via AUR. Yes. You talked about that last week, how we need those.
We do.
Here's one with 30 upvotes from Tormund. Display the M3 cargo size of all items, both in remote stations and within the market. 30 upvotes. I don't necessarily think I require this feature, though I could see there being a want to need to know that info
Yeah.
in certain gameplay aspects.
Yeah.
So I would consider it.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I think more information's better.
Here's another one from Twizerks. Should allow corporations to have more than one wallet for better ISK management within a corporation and not just have one wallet for everything.
Yep.
44 upvotes.
That should have like 1 million
Like
upvotes.
what?
Everybody in here go upvote that right now. That should have a ton of upvotes. That is like corporation management in this game is hell. Because we don't well, yeah, I mean, we could export it as well, but yeah, exactly. You can export lists, but you can't export your wallet. Yeah, but I'd still want wallet separation. It's not that hard. If you're not going to give us containers, then give us more hangers and give us separation of wallets. Please. Please, please,
Yeah.
please. I'm tired of making ISK banks out of missions and pulling it that way so that, you know, you've got like a separate bank somewhere for this and a bank somewhere for that. Like it's clunky. It works, but it's clunky. Yeah, one downvote.
Oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, what?
Because
this should have been a thing a long time ago.
Think about this. Here's the biggest reason you want it. Think about this, Rambo. And even you and Damon not maybe making a whole bunch of stuff or building a whole bunch of ships is going to understand this. In order for a corporation builder to build a ship, he needs access to your corporation wallet. Why is there not a builder wallet? Why is there not just a build wallet? For security, this is how all these thefts, this is one way these thefts, all the big thefts happen, right? Is you can get access to the wallet now and not have to wait. Oh, you wait an hour, I guess, for an audit, but I mean, whatever. It's the builder shouldn't have to have wallet access. In order, or if he does, fine. It's a separate wallet, and now you can kind of control that. You just throw money into it every once in a while for the builds, your weekly builds, right? So there's so many ways you need a separation of wallet. It's not even funny.
Yeah. I mean, I could just list probably 5 different things that corporation could use a separate wallet for.
Yep.
Just dividing in outgoing expenses, right? We have so much coming in and so much going out to the point where that would be super beneficial. But I guess that's the question is like, why hasn't this been released yet? I just don't understand.
It's so easy. It's an easy quality of life thing. They should do it.
It takes containers.
It takes containers.
Okay. Here's one that had a high downvote favorability from The Only Thing. I think you should keep the Science-y design theme, and every ship released should look like a Navy ship here on Earth. 34 downvotes. No.
Hunt for the Red October. It's a real sub. No, thank you.
I remember my uncle years and years and years ago, it was probably like 2006. He was playing EVE Online, and I kind of looked over his shoulder and watched him playing. I'm like, man, these ships, they're like, why are they so ugly? You know, they're not proportionate, they're not asymmetric, anything like that. They don't look like your normal aviation type of plane. And he's like, well, in space, you don't need aerodynamics. So why do you need to have a ship that flies that looks like an airplane? The thing is you don't. Why do we have to have a ship that looks like an aircraft carrier? We don't. And granted, that was one of the major things that people complained about the Science-y that they didn't like, was the fact that it's got a literal landing strip on it. And just people weren't liking that. So I don't think that the devs need to start designing carriers like actual Navy ships. I just want them to design cool looking ships that belong in space and not on Earth. Did we lose Taylor? Think so. Okay. Yet the Science Sea is one of the best rating carriers in the game. I don't know. I could you say it's one of the best? Sure. I don't think it's the best. There is a reason why I sold mine. It is simply because by the time I acquired it, fit it, I think I used it once, and then I sold it because one, the lost mills were 750 billion at the time. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. And two, I literally have carriers that are better and cheaper to replace than that. So I'm not even going to bother. It's like, why would I spend 50 billion ISK on a Science Sea when I'm going to do the same thing in a 30 billion ISK Nidhogger? You know, they serve the same purpose to me. So I don't understand why it would be better in that sense. But I have also ships that are better than the Science Sea. Has more DPS, clears faster, only because it has high slots. So depending on whether or not those high slots, you know, put cannons on it or whatever, if they're hit and critted, it's probably better for the bigger ships, but little ships, I don't know. Sea Taylor is back.
I'm back. Just in time to end the show.
Just in time. Okay. Yeah, so that was a banger of a downvote. And then how about this one? Okay, here we go. 81 bats. This one got 32 downvotes. Every time someone uses a Needlejack in your system, your Corpse Citadel should get a kill mark and a local notification.
Corpse Citadel gets a kill mark and a local? What?
Your Corpse Citadel should get a kill mark and a local notification.
Nah.
No. Yeah, it's... you don't know if somebody's sinoing into your... Well, I guess you could. If you're really watching, you would know if somebody's sinoing into your system. But... I don't know. I would not consider this.
No.
That's probably why it's got 32 downvotes.
Yep.
Sounds like
Did
a
Betamune post
Benzie
that?
suggestion.
Who posted that? Did Benzie come back and
81... No, the username was 81 bats.
81 bat. He's batty, all right.
Hey, here's one from Captain Bobo right above it. 32 downvotes.
Bobo.
Yeah, Bobo. Hey, Bobo. Yeah, there's a whole string of them that are downvoted. Limit how much items can be undercut or overpriced in the markets. All items have a set value, could be sold for any amount.
No.
If people want to do that, that's what the contract system should be used for. Why pay a broker's fee, but for what? Idiots are ruining the market by massively undercutting for a quick sale or stupidly overpricing when they buy all stocks. Set a percentage of how much you can over and under the price items. Ta-da.
Hey man,
this is exactly what we're seeing with Plex.
Yeah, this is Eve. Everyone versus everyone on every stage possible, whether it's PvP, PvE, market manipulation, whatever. Okay, you don't like the market price, you think it's too low and you want to sell it higher, put it up there for what you want to sell it for. If it doesn't go, tough shit. And nothing should be controlled price-wise. The players set the price. The market sets the price. That is how it should be. If all of a sudden every item in this game was only at a set value, period, there'd be no freaking market. There'd be no market. Why would I ever sell anything? Screw it. Why would I ever build
supply
anything
and
to
demand?
Sell? Yes, supply and demand.
So, supply and demand.
Well, Brad, that's not it.
I haven't checked.
What they're actually doing is they're playing a game, right? So it's a game, and they want the game to be easier. And the game is hard and complicated, and it's not easy. And they're lazy. And maybe they're lazy in real life. I don't know. Maybe they're just lazy with games because they just want to log in and have fun. Who knows? But No, this is a hard game. This is meant to be a hard game. It's going to be a hard game. It's not for everyone. Get over it.
So,
keep going, Rambo.
That is it. We'll call it there.
All right.
We'll call it there. Notice we've had a string of pretty decently long shows, so I'm happy with that.
Yep.
You know, we average just shy of 2 hours, which is pretty good.
Yep.
That's a pretty good listen for a lot of our listener base too. You know, because people listen in the car, while at work, maybe while playing the game. Who knows? But I think 2 hours is about the sweet spot of our podcast here. So.
And I managed to timestamp everything, so on the YouTube side, you'll be able to go and look at specific things like the patch note, the carrier design event, meme for Exec, Rambo's live role playing.
You still have to go over that comment. Let me bring up the comment. That comment that we had on the YouTube. Okay. Let me snip this here. I got it here. Where'd the snip tool go? Oh, there it is.
I don't know.
I only have like freaking 3 screens in front of me.
Yep, I got 4 right now, yep.
And then, of course, I have to hit the read more. Oh, that barely did anything. I know, I'm slacking here. Okay.
Oh, Z-Killer's got 5. Well, I could bring up my phone. That'd be a 5th one.
There.
So 3 monitors, an iPad, now a phone. There you go.
So this is one of our YouTube comments. Taylor, as a podcast host, you should be unbiased and also less arrogant. Let people talk. You interrupt too much. You are a cool guy and player, but yeah, that's my feedback. Keep the show going. I listen to each episode. So thank you for your comment. And yes, Taylor, shut up. Shut up. There's a new sheriff in town.
But what did I say in response?
The
to this
hat
guy,
is
though?
on.
What did I say in response to this?
The hat is on. The hat is on. Okay, now you can talk.
I was like, what did I say in response to this guy, though? My response was, that's what she said.
So. Okay. With that, we will call it the show. I'll start the outro. And I'll take this time to thank every single one of you for listening to the show, joining us live. Thank you, Taylor and Damon, for joining us tonight. As well as thank you, everybody that follow the show and listen to us on podcasts and on YouTube channels. Catch you next week, 07.
Thank you all for listening to this week's episode of Echoes of New Eden podcast. Please take a moment to follow us on Apple and Spotify, or subscribe to our YouTube or our Twitch channel for all the content that we release. I'd like to take this time to give a shout out to the EONE sponsored content creators. If you haven't checked out these content creators, please support them as well. Damon Cell from Echoes of Last Year, Mario from Echoes.mobi, Jubilaus PvP videos, Hell, your latest Benzie wannabe, and Eclipse PvP. We will see you next week for all the latest Indie of Echoes news. Join us live on Discord or listen on one of our platforms. To all our listeners out there, fly safe, get good, and 07.